Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here for another episode of Answering the Call. I am joined by Rich Guidice, former executive director or a man of many titles here at OEMC. Rich, let's let everybody know kind of how your journey at OEMC went.
Thank you, Morgan. I guess the best way to start, I'll start right from the beginning. So my journey with City of Chicago started, I believe, in 1990. I think it was March or April of 1990. I got my first city job. My first real city job that I like to talk about is the sewer department. It was actually the sewer department at the time. Now it merged with water department, so they just call it the water department. From there, general services, from general services to the mayor's office, where I got acquainted with OEMC. And I always thought about my next step, my next chapter, if I ever left the mayor's office, would be to OEMC. I always thought it was a place that I would like to go to. Mayor Daley at the time wanted that department to be the coordinating entity that it became ultimately. 9/11 came about, and for the next, I think, 3 months, we spent here at OEMC. So I really developed a appreciation for what I felt that the department office could potentially be. By the time I finally made it to OEMC, it was 2005. So that was my first official year here at OEMC. I think it was January 1st, 2005.
What is it? You said OEMC kind of always had this piqued your interest a little bit. What was it about OEMC that made you want to come and work here?
Well, I thought the idea of bringing people together and even our own people internally, internal department and different agencies, I thought that that was something that I was drawn to. And I thought that was something that I could be good at when it comes to the large scale events that ultimately we became the lead agency in coordination for. I really leaned into that part of the job. As the managing deputy, I really leaned into that part of the job. When I got promoted throughout the department, what I shifted my focus to the 911 floor. What I thought was happening was we were getting diluted in one of our core functions for the department. So I put a lot of emphasis and a lot of put my eyes on the 911 floor, and I got to know the people better. I got a greater appreciation for what they did on a daily basis, and I also realized that we were working an enormous amount of hours on the 911 floor, and I don't know if we were um, um, appreciating the amount of work that they were doing, the type of work that they were doing, and the hours.
OEMC's big, and a lot of people don't know, what even does OEMC do?
Mhm.
I think I explain it to my grandparents every time I go back to visit them. So, how did you sort of manage all the different facets? And they are very different.
Mhm.
The police department is the police department, the department is the water department, but OEMC really kind of has four different areas.
So what we did um, while I was the first deputy and leaning into becoming the executive director, we started the mission critical projects and the MCP. Me and Anna Statham at the time developed that process where we would break down each division for the department, put all the core mission projects in a spreadsheet, and we stayed focused on each division, whether it was traffic management authority, 311, emergency management, technology, administration, emergency management, and of course the 911 floor as well. So we broke that all down in its respective divisions. We put their core mission for each division, and then we broke it down by project and things that we had to focus on and things that we wanted to make sure we weren't dropping the ball on. So that's how we kind of kept the department organized.
And you will be happy to know we do still do those.
I'm very happy. As the executive director and some of the bosses in the department, you never really got a good look at the actual work that was being pushed out from the 911 floor. So that's something that I think is extremely important. I'm glad that that is still being utilized to this day. And it really gives a good measure to the amount of work that's being generated from this department.
Why is it such a big deal that this is returning 30, that this is still here and this department is still serving the city?
It's a really good question, and what I'll say, it took a while for us to become the department which we are now, today. And I say we, but I've been gone here
No,
for
you're
about a
still
year and
part
a
of the
half here.
family.
I hope so. We had to gain respect from other agencies, and you can only gain that type of respect by proven results. And I think we started showing a lot of proven results from everything that we were getting ourselves involved with and respecting other departments. So we weren't taking anything away from any other agencies. We were just coordinating it.
Are there any big moments that stand out to you over your time here? What are some of those big events where you're like, man, it's a good thing that we had OEMC here?
One thing I think I like to always talk about that we kind of nurtured from the beginning is Lollapalooza, for example. That was a relatively small event. They were hoping to get 8 to 10,000 people a day for I think a 2-day festival for the first year that it came when it came back to Chicago, and then they wanted to get 20 or 25,000 people, and then we made it a 3-day event, and then now it's a 4-day event, and we have over 120,000 people a day for that event. So we were able to grow that event at a slow enough pace where we kept it manageable, we kept it controllable, and it was ultimately very successful for the event organizers, but it was also successful for us as a public safety agency. It kind of sealed us with the police department and the fire department. It shows why we should exist as an agency and really mean for the emergency management coordinating purposes.
Anything else like that I didn't ask you or that you really think people should know as we start the next 30 years here at OEMC?
Well, I think that for one thing, I always felt it's the greatest department in the city of Chicago. I thought, all right, you go to OEMC and you die, you go to heaven, and that's it. It's life. It's over. But they're people that work here are hardworking, dedicated. They certainly love the city of Chicago. Everybody here wants to see the city succeed in every way. We're fortunate enough to be involved with every aspect of daily life in the city. And I think if whoever sits in these spots or in these chairs, whether you're an employee, a deputy, a director, or whatever really position, you can really learn something from this department every single day. Keep your eyes open and pay attention and listen. You can really get a good grasp on the cadence and the heartbeat of Chicago.
All right, Rich, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.